So, what then is the condition of her now? Now that she's passed away, what is her condition? The Bible is very clear on the truth about the dead. People wonder what happens, where do we go, what's going to be next. Let's take it right from the scriptures. There's many scriptures, we're just going to read two. Psalms 146, 4, if you turn there with me. Psalms 146, 4. What happens to you when you die? What happened to Faythe? 146, 4 says, his spirit goes out, he goes back to his ground, and in that day his thoughts do perish. You remember Adam, Jehovah God breathed the life force into Adam. It was a life force. And when he died, it went. It's like he stopped working. It's like they took the electric off. And where did she go? Back to the ground. That was where he sent Adam. Back to the minerals of the earth. And what happened to their thought process? It was clear. It ceased to exist. His thoughts did perish. Let's look at another scripture. Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 9, verse 5. Starting in verse 5 of Ecclesiastes 9, it says, for the living are conscious that they will die. Isn't that true? Every one of us in here are conscious that someday, unfortunately, if this system continued, we would die. But notice what it says as it goes on. It says, but as for the dead, they are conscious of nothing at all. Neither do they have wages, because their remembrance to them has been forgotten. So, they're thinking of nothing. She's unconscious. As Jesus said, an unconscious state, or as Jesus talked about his friend Lazarus, he said, he's asleep. And there's no wages. There's nobody trying to contact them and generate finances or anything from them. They ceased. They stopped. But that makes you think then, is there really hope for someone that you've loved, or Faythe that we all love? Is there hope for her in the future? What is her hope? The answer is there is hope. It is made possible by the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. Remember we talked about that ransom, that sacrifice that was going to negate what happened with Adam and give her a future. If you look at Matthew 20, 28, it makes it very clear. Matthew 20, 28. Notice what Jesus' purpose was. It says there in 28, just as the Son of Man came, not to be ministered to, but to minister and give his soul as a ransom in exchange for many. He came to help people. He didn't want any glory or anything like that. He didn't want to be the president or the king. He wanted to help people, to minister to them. And then he gave his life over for us, you and me, and Faythe. What a wonderful hope that is. And Christ's resurrection is guaranteed. How do we know? Let's look at the scripture. 1 Corinthians 15:22. It's guaranteed to happen because Jesus himself helped focus us all in on this. 1 Corinthians 15:22. It says, for just as in Adam all are dying. Well, we know that. We talked about that earlier. But it goes on to say, also in the Christ all will be made alive. So you can see the separation, the hope Faythe had. Even though Adam had created this mess, if you will, this death that we all unfortunately inherited, but Jesus would negate that. He would give us all, and the ones we loved, another viable chance to be with our loved ones again. Jesus, multiple times through the scriptures, I'm sure you're aware of, raised people from the dead, proving that he had the ability to do these things. And now he has the ability to do it on a global scale. What a nice thought that is. Faythe's hope is to be resurrected in life on paradise earth. To be here in paradise, as Jesus said. Luke 23:43 said, as Jesus was talking to the criminal, now he's a criminal, on a stake next to him, but he was reading his heart, and he said to him, you will be, today I tell you, you will be with me in paradise. He knew that he was going to set up this paradise arrangement on this earth that he could be part of. And he reassured him of that. In earthly paradise, Faythe will be able to show the love to the child she never could. Her daughter Rebecca died soon after birth. Upon resurrection of Faythe and her daughter, that she didn't get a chance to raise with the rest of her kids, what would she say? What will she teach her? What would you do? What things could you show, teach a daughter that you've never had a chance, and show her why she's here? She's been resurrected by the God that you love. Faythe will have that opportunity. Is that a gift? I think so. What a privilege that would be. Not only to be resurrected herself, but to be able to teach the one that she lost and never got a chance to. What a hope, what a privilege it is for her. So we look forward to that. And others, all of us today here who have lost loved ones in death, we have, as for Armageddon survivors, we have a chance to do so, to be with the ones we love, to help them and see them again. What a privilege it would be. Straight from the Bible as truth. Why is it good then that we're come here today as a big group? Well, it really comforts the bereaved, the ones, the family, and they in turn can comfort us too with our loss of our friend. It also helps us take to heart the uncertainty of life. Things happen. It makes you think about, really, what am I doing with my life? It makes us think about how we can use our life. How are we using it? Are we just trying to get to the next month, next session? Or are we really focused on the future? What this world is coming to and what we can do to help ourselves, the ones we love, our families. It should help us to do that. How can we benefit from being here? Well, I thought, if Faythe, what would she say? What would she say about how you could benefit? What would she say to us? And I think she mimics the outline when it says, she would say to us, while living, make a good name with Jehovah God now, while you can. 80 years is fleeting. Anyone can tell you that. Next minute you're 20, next minute you're 40, soon you're 60, and then you're wondering how to get here. It's fleeting. So make a good name. Become fine oil with God now, while you still can. She would say to us, lay up treasures in heaven rather than treasures on earth. Because we know what happens when somebody works their whole life, they build this empire of stuff, they die, it gets all split up, and it's gone. But treasures in heaven never leave you. They will never leave Faythe, the treasure she built up with her God. They'll be with her forever. I think she would adamantly tell us to do that. These things will last forever. Makes you ask the question then, how can we do that? How can we lay up treasures in heaven? Well, one way is by qualifying to be zealous in the part of the preaching work, telling others about this gift, about this kingdom that God is offering for the escape from all the troubles of this world, the anxieties that we have, the anxieties that Faythe had, and now that her family is carrying. They will be gone. In this way, and also with godly conduct, we can contribute to the sanctification of God's name and bring his name back to the perfect state and negate the falsehoods that were brought against his name. The resurrection hope of our loved ones or for ourselves should give us initiative to learn as much as we can and to do the divine will of God. It's really your future. It's Faythe's future. It's her children's future. That's what she wanted them to understand. So, in conclusion, August 30th was a day for all of us, a sad, sad day. We lost a friend, lost a mother, husbands, wives, all these things, and we all have experienced that. But Faythe Puterbaugh was victorious on August 30th by running the race of life of this earth, building a good name with her God as fine oil. The last scripture we'll look at is 2 Timothy, if you would please, 4:7. And I think these thoughts really talk about Faythe's life and really should help us reflect on how we are seen. 2 Timothy 4:7 says, I have fought the fine fight. I have run the course to the finish. I have observed the faith. And I think that Faythe did those things. She focused on what her God wanted, and she did that very well. Faythe is now in the safest place you can be in the universe, in God's memory. He is waiting to resurrect Faythe to life in paradise here on earth forever with the ones she loves. That will conclude our discourse for today. So now, if it's convenient, we're going to stand and conclude with a song. We're going to sing song number 111. It'll be the other side of your program there. And that's taken from Job 14, 13 through 15. He will call, and then Brother Ernie Peters is going to close with a word of prayer.
With